All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our webinar, Bachelor's Degree You Can Start Now. My name is Elena Jerez, and I'll be your host today. I'm an enrollment representative with Coursera, and I would like to welcome our fantastic panelists, Kyle Jusab, a student from the University of London, and Kevin Huang, a student success from the University of North Texas. Once again, welcome all, and we are excited to have you here. So while we give everybody a few minutes to join, why don't you tell us where you are joining from in the chat? I'd love to see where our audience is joining in from. Okay, I can see some people from Delhi, India, Paris, France, mm, Hyderabad, India, Karthik, India, Sajali, Sudan, Ireland, Seoul, Spain, South Africa, Philippines, Bangladesh. Great. We have a very international audience today, so I'm glad to see that you are all joining from all the corners of the world. So just a few housekeeping notes. Ask questions as we go. You can use the QA feature that is available there because the chats will be turned off as we go through the session. We'll do our best to answer your questions throughout the presentation. So we also will be having a panel with our graduate speakers at the end of the presentation. If you have a question about a specific program, please include your name in the question so that we can help you provide a better answer. As a reminder, this session is going to be recorded and will be sent afterwards. So to start today, we are just going to have a quick poll. How soon are you planning to start a bachelor's degree? Is it going to be in the next 1 or 2 months, 3 or 6 months, later this year, or still evaluating? So we'll keep the poll on for a few seconds before we move on. So if you can submit your answer now. Great. I can see 1, 2, 3, 6. Great. So for the next question, what's stopping you from taking the leap? We want to help you to overcome these barriers today. So is it cost? Is it time commitment? Is it that you don't see the value, admission requirements, or motivation to finish, or if you are already ready to enroll? Okay, great. Thank you for your answers. We'll give it a few more seconds and then we'll move on to the presentations. Great. So now allow me to introduce Kevin Huang. He works with many different functions at the University of North Texas, and one part of his role is focuses on supporting student success and engagement for UNT's online learners, helping ensure students feel connected, supported, and confident from enrollment through graduation. He works closely with the students and campus partners to create resources, experience, and support systems designed specifically for working adults and returning students. Kevin is very excited to be here today to help you learn more about their programs and what your journey at UNT could look like. So without further ado, Kevin, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to share my screen real quick. All right. So now, okay. Does everyone see that all right? Hopefully. So these are kind of like our admission strategies and kind of tips, important dates and everything for UNT, but also it could be generally used for any other program, I believe. But important things to think about when looking to apply to UNT in our admissions. First, identify what type of student you are, and we'll kind of go a little bit deeper into that and see what the differences are. Understand the application process. Sometimes it could be a little complicated, especially if you're not used to Apply Texas, which is our main application process, as well as applying to a school in Texas. So it's very different. And I think something that isn't stressed enough, but is important, is to submit needed documentation on time because that will allow you to be processed a lot faster, a lot more efficiently, and a lot more smoothly, right? So those are a big part of like the admission steps, so you can make sure to ensure your smooth transition into UNT. If that is, if you're interested in UNT. So first things first, what type of student are you? We typically categorize students, at least on our platform, on our university, between three different types of students. They're freshmen, transfer, and international students, at least when you're starting a degree here at UNT. Especially so with our partnership with Coursera, we have two fully online degree programs where we'll denote you whether you be freshman, a transfer, international student. That means you could bring credit from maybe additional colleges that you've attended, community college, any international schools potentially. But these are the types of students that you kind of have to categorize yourself as to figure out the application process. So our website is www.unt.edu /admissions. Pretty simple, but I'll have it on here. But essentially, if you identify as an applicant trying to apply to college for the first time, you might identify yourself as a freshman student. Whereas if you have previously enrolled, right, like I mentioned before, at another college or university after graduating high school, you might be a transfer student. And if you are an applicant on a temporary visa or you don't have a U.S. permanent resident card, then you might be identified as an international student. So those are three important things on our website that you can click through and identify what requirements, what deadlines are important to you. But I'll go over some of those right now because I only have about, I think, like 15 minutes. So it's going to be a quick overview of everything that we have. All right, next slide is.
Kevin,
All right.
I'm sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. Can I ask you
Yes.
to put your slide on presentation mode because we are just seeing the PowerPoint as it is?
Oh, it is on presentation mode, but no, that's a
Oh,
great. Let me reshare.
thank you.
Yes. There we go. Is that good?
It's loading. Okay, great. It's working now.
Okay,
Thank you.
fantastic. Sorry about that. Um, yes, so with this slide, this is kind of what you'll see when you get into the website. You'll see the different admission requirements. You'll see the deadlines and fees, which we'll go over today as well, just to help you kind of get a gist of it. Steps to apply and what's next. But it'll give you very direct steps on our website to specifically go through all of the processes. But if you have questions, I'm here. That's why I'm presenting. That's why I'm trying to make sure that you understand all the different nuances here. But we do have a lot of resources on our website just to make sure that you have that available. Um, with that being said, here are two very common websites that you have to create an account for when you try to apply. I'm not going to focus on Common App. That is generally for other degrees at UNT, other than our fully online degrees. We'll focus specifically on Apply Texas, but Common App is a very, common use and platform to apply for colleges. But University of North Texas is on that still. And you'll see a deadline later down the line that says Common App. But the main primary application and admissions process will be through Apply Texas. And this is a very specific application process for Texas institutions. You might not have seen this if you haven't applied to anything in Texas or even looked at anything in Texas, but this is going to be your main avenue. And once we kind of talk a little bit about your additional Coursera enrollment representatives, you'll also have someone that can help walk you through all of this when you're trying to apply as well. So again, on our website, and if you wanted to scan that QR code, it takes you right to this website as well. But it's a pretty simple process, and we try to break it down step by step for you to make sure that it's a streamlined process. So when you're going and making an account, when you're trying to search for UNT, make sure it's UNT, University of North Texas, and not the one in Dallas, because we are stationed in Denton. Particularly. And then we have our two fully online degree programs, the BAAS and PSGB, which Coursera will talk about a little bit later. But these are very specific instructions. I'm not going to go fully in depth on this because you'll have to kind of make your account. You'll have to go through each step individually to make sure that everything is okay. But these are kind of like we have a full website again here that can go step by step on how to create an account, how to set up everything, submit your official transcripts, and etc. But we'll always be sending emails and updates on like what you are required of, or anything like that as well. And something you'll probably see this kind of like website and screen once you actually create an account. I just wanted to kind of focus in on this because it might be confusing, but you need to find the right application. And I'll mention this again. University of North Texas. We, kind of crossed out the Dallas one because unfortunately, with our fully online degrees, they are only with our Denton campus, our main campus, and Dallas is kind of like our sister campus. So it'll still pop up when you type in University of North Texas. But I wanted to clarify, hey, it's just University of North Texas. Within that piece, I want to talk about the steps as well as the application deadlines. And you might be seeing a lot of text here, but we'll kind of focus in on some things. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat or the Q&A. Step one, of course, is always to speak with a Coursera enrollment coach or representative for more information on a degree and how to apply. We have two specific and fantastic um, Coursera enrollment representatives that can reach out to you specific to our programs, that we work very closely with. And step two is obviously apply. So the application fee for U.S. domestic students is $75, and then the application fee for international students is $85. But if you are a returning UNT Denton student and you're listening to this webinar, you don't have to pay the application fee. But I wanted to stress the application deadlines because they differ depending on what category of student you are. Like we mentioned earlier. So are you a freshman? Are you a transfer student? Are you an international student? And then it breaks down even further into international freshman, international transfer. But the upcoming deadlines, summer 2026, it's super soon. Classes begin May 11th. So in maybe it's almost March, so in a couple months. Um, with freshmen and transfer students, May 1, as well as the international transfer, May 1 will be a deadline for applications. I would recommend putting it in ASAP so that you can make sure you have your transcripts ready to upload or be sent over because it does take time to process. And that's something that we've been noticing more and more of. It takes time to process, it takes time to receive transcripts. So it's important to apply pretty early. So with international freshman students, that'll be April 15th for the summer 2026 deadline. So make sure, yeah, just applying by that deadline. And then fall 2026, I want to talk about because usually students apply or start in the fall semester. And for that, there's going to be a little bit of nuances and differences. Classes will begin on August 17th. So, in a decent amount of time, but August 17th is typically around when we start our semester for fall. For freshmen and transfer, so this is very particular. Apply Texas is August 4th for a deadline, and then the Common App is July 31. If you are trying to attend physically at the UNT Denton campus, you may be applying through Common App, maybe. But Apply Texas will probably be your best bet, and that'll be the August 4th deadline. With international freshman students, that will be July 15th, and apologies for that. That'll be July 15th for international freshmen, and then international transfer students will be August 1st. And again, make sure you apply pretty early. Don't try to go all the way to the deadline because that becomes difficult to get maybe all the transcripts in. Okay, so once you actually have an admissions decision, so this is once you submit everything, your official transcripts, any documentation that you need, English proficiency for international students is required. You pay your application fee, then you'll receive emails from UNT of your next steps in the UNT application process. And this is important to make sure you complete all your to-do lists, activate your UNT account, and log in and make sure everything's okay because you'll be needed to complete this to-do list to even register for classes. And you don't want to keep this in the back burner. You don't want to go all the way up to deadline and be like, hey, I can't register for classes in time. Or if you're potentially looking for financial aid or any other types of tuition assistance, then those will require you to make sure these to-do list items are completed in a timely manner. So that's really, really important to make sure that um, you're not going to fall behind, right? Okay. And then I just want to kind of repeat everything I've said earlier about scheduling a session with your Coursera enrollment representative. If you need more information, that's the QR code again. Apply today if you want to. But also on the website, it'll direct you to the Coursera page as well if you're looking for more information on how to apply for UNT programs there. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Obviously, I have a questions and next steps part. But yeah, we can go move forward with the rest of the presentation. And thank you all for your time.
Great. Thank you, Kevin, for your presentation. So now let's move on to a couple of questions that we have for you today. So if you could give applicants just one piece of advice, students that are considering to apply for a bachelor's degree program online, what would it be?
That's a great question. I would say look for something that is cost efficient for you. Um, college can be expensive, and sometimes it can be, good to go to a prestigious university, but it might be something that, hurts the bank or hurts your quality of life. So I think something that is very cost efficient would be very beneficial for you, especially if you're looking for an online bachelor's degree.
Great, thank you. So you've been supporting students with their online studies for quite a long time. So what does a strong first month of an online student usually look like? What are the things that the student should be doing in that first month, according to your experience?
Yeah, for us, we are particularly in Canvas. There's going to be professors that are uploading their syllabi. They're going to be getting initial assignments, readings, projects, where they'll have pretty much weekly deadlines, typically, and you'll be able to meet with students. We do have online platforms at UNT that can connect each student into a community. And a big part of it is we want to make sure that our online students are supported. So every step of the way, we're going to be there and available. You're going to have your advisors, you're going to have orientation, and we're going to make sure that you're settled. If you have any question at all moving forward in your journey, then we do have staff that will support you.
Great, thank you. So now that Kevin has told us a little bit about the student experience, I want to introduce Kyle Joseph as someone who can talk about their personal experience as a recent graduate from the Bachelor's in Computer Science program with the University of London. Kevin got a specialization in games development. Kyle began his studies in Malawi, then moved to the UK, and now he resides in the US, all while pursuing his degree. Professionally, Kyle has completed two internships at Snap Inc. over the last summer and has been a strong face for the university community, serving as a student ambassador, blogger, and a leading member of the Student Voice Group. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us, and I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you. And I do hope all of you can see my screen. Hey, everyone. I'm Kyle. I'm a huge gamer, a big fan of The Last of Us, and more importantly for you, I graduated last semester with first class honors at the University of London. It took me effectively 4 years to finish, and my goal in this presentation is to try and give you all the things I learned along the way and what helped me get to the stage I'm at. So this is what we're going to go through. And yes, you'll see my Bitmoji all over these slides. I thought it would be fun to incorporate some of my Snap roots, but the main things I want to talk about are as follows: the mindset and how I handled my studies without that rigid schedule that you get with in-person study. The strategy. This is more about how I handled challenging modules and general University of London specific things that helped me get first class honors. The network. I think this is one of the most important ones, to be honest. Joining an online degree opens you up to the global community. Global, big word. So I'll give you some of my tips there. The payoff. This heavily focuses on things I did that landed me an internship at Snap twice, and the things to be focusing on to better prepare you for transitioning into work. And the reality. I think there's a lot of mental grappling you have to do when learning computer science, and I feel not many people talk about it. So I wanted to go over feelings of self-anxiety as well as anxiety of working in the field that constantly changes. And this new technology is going to take our jobs talk. With this, I think the saying was, treat yourself as if you were your own child. I don't know why, but it stuck. See, for me, if you tell me that I've got 10 weeks to do the work, I'd start doing it week 10. That's a big problem. So I intentionally sought out to treat my university as a typical 9 to 5. And that was exactly what I did. That window was the only one where I did any and all studying. The only reason this worked is because I love video games. I've got nearly 300 hours in The Last of Us alone, but I forced myself. Video game time only existed before or after this 9 to 5 window. I hated it. Simple as, when it first started, I sat there bored most of the time, thinking about saving New York City as Spider-Man. But eventually I got so bored of waiting that I started studying to pass the time. Over a few weeks later, and the routine was so ingrained into my life that I was able to fully separate both study and play. Now, albeit 9 to 5 is a long time, and everyone has different time commitments, but routinely setting a time of the day, specific days of the week, and more importantly, rewarding yourself for sticking to it, that helped me. Some of the important things to take away. Block out time, whatever time block works for you, and give yourself at least 2 weeks to get used to it before adjusting it. Give it 100%, 110 even. The truth is you get what you put into this degree. And was 9 to 5 far more time than I needed? Yes, but I spent all that additional time doing the extra challenges and practicing more questions. That's what I put in, and that's how I got the highest grade out. Reward yourself. Do something you love when you do follow your schedule, when you do well in a midterm, or anytime you feel it appropriate. The love of only getting the reward for work put in made me make sure I put that work in. For the most part, especially if you're a new coder, most modules guide you through the content relatively easy. That doesn't mean they're particularly easy, but you can find your way around and figure it out. And of course, as you go up levels, it will get more challenging, but some modules have a steeper requirement than what you would think. These are not only the modules I felt were a huge step up, but the general consensus amongst the community was these modules ramped up the skill required a little faster than we were used to. By no means is this an exhaustive list, or is it a list that will perfectly match you, but you should prep yourself to face a module where it feels like you're under-equipped. The truth is, you are more than ready and more than capable, even if it doesn't feel like it. It's worth keeping that in mind because some modules will slow you down. For modules that have exams, what really helped me was doing past papers, not reading my notes or watching a YouTube video on the topic, or even making flashcards, just old-fashioned practice. The questions that came up in the exam are structured different from questions you have in modules, so just practice past papers. The structure is very similar, and after around 5 papers, I felt I knew the kind of questions that were going to come up and how to answer them. Sometimes I got lucky and got the same question from years ago. And if you can, try to do at least one of these in simulated conditions. Give yourself the allocated time, no AI or anything to aid you, and just see how you do. The more you get used to it, the better prepared you are. For project-based modules, have the kill 2 birds with 1 stone approach. In a few slides, I'll talk about portfolios and bodies of work. Knowing that these projects might be used in the near future, you should give your projects that extra little bit of polish. Give them as much of your own personality as you can. Make sure you meet the criteria, but always go above, just a little if you can. Fill them with your lived experience and pick content that resonates with you where possible. The future you will thank you. The important thing to take away. Some modules will slow your momentum all the way down to 0. These hurdles are usually the ones that stop students from completing their degree. They will come. But when they do come, find a way to convince yourself that you are prepared enough to tackle it, because you are. 5 past papers. It's a small but big enough number for you to get a strong grasp of the questions you'll be asked. It was always the number that I felt the most confident in. Make sure you do a few of these in simulated conditions as well. Add personality to your projects. Most of the project-based modules give you creative space. Use it. Use it as a way to tell your own journey and a way to express your interests. Telling your story will make your projects unique, and unique projects are the only ones that stand out. In my time with the University of London, I did spend a bulk of it representing myself and the university. The ironic thing is you're all listening to my story because I openly voiced that I would love to be a part of webinars and represent the university where I could. That's exactly why I can be here with Coursera, giving you all tips. I got much better at public speaking because of it, and hopefully much better at presenting. The point here is you don't have to copy my specific path, but engage with the community where you can, and even in ways that challenge or push you. I think this deep into the presentation, if I told you I was introverted, you might not believe it, but I am. And I learned how to be comfortable to speak and present to all of you. Make friends with people that live in different parts of the world. They are probably working for a company that you might want to work for. Referrals go a long way, and having the University of London community with you might just be the edge you need. Maybe many of you would like to work for Snap one day, and my referral might just be the thing that gets your resume seen. This is what the benefit of being global is, but you also get to experience and learn about other students' cultures, and that always adds to your lived experience and makes you much more approachable, relatable, and understandable. Just remember, we're all here to help, and that does mean you might be the help someone else needs. Make it feel less online. I'll admit it, I thought being at home behind my computer would be fun. And it was for all of like 2 months. Even I wanted some social interaction. Join the Discord, be active on Slack. Some students might even be located in the same region as you. I made a really great friend with who I studied many modules with, bounced ideas off of, and just generally got to learn more about a culture I've never been in. Sometimes having a buddy who is taking the same modules as you is all you need. The takeaways: be a part of something. I don't know what that something might be for you, but there is something for everyone. Find your something, push your boundaries, and learn some soft skills. Network. Make professional friends. Find things in common. Even if you have to be the one to initiate study sessions or message first, be the inquisitive one. You honestly don't know how much someone could help you. Join the Discord. Be in the Slack, start a community. Talk to people and lean on our community. Remember, the more you put in, the more you get out. Portfolios. And yes, this is something you should think about now. Portfolios, resumes, these are all live documents. They must change constantly. One of my mentors told me that the first 10 games you make will be bad. So just get them out of the way. Get to 11. I think that's also true with how you showcase yourself. You'd rather go through all the bad iterations now so that when it matters most, it's already in a good state. These are some screenshots of my very first portfolio. For timeline perspectives, I believe this was when I had done 6 level 4 modules. That's not even a full year. It's so undercooked that the front page is just my poorly written reviews for my top 10 games. I was really proud of having something that people could click on and go to. But from a recruiter standpoint, I don't think they cared too much that The Witcher 3 was in my top 5. I mean, I was so excited to get it up and running that I didn't even have projects to show when it first went live. Would you look at that? A site to view with all my work, just without the work. But the important thing is, I had something to build off. 1 or 2 projects later, and it started to look a little better. And as will happen with you, as you progress through the degree, you get better and better at coding. And every time I learned a new thing, I tried to show it in my portfolio. Now, the unfortunate thing is I do not have access to the gradual changes to my website from what you just saw to what it is now. And the reason is, well, I made 272 changes to it since. And yes, that last one was made just 3 days ago. Even now, when I'm finished, I still add to it, change wording, fix mistakes, and try to improve the projects on it. However, the point of this is to say, use me as an example if you need, because this is what it looks like now. The GIF compression isn't really the best, but there you go. Now I'll be the first to admit, it's most likely overkill for your purposes. When you graduate, you shouldn't be expected to have the best looking, award-winning portfolio ever. But as of right now, in this very moment, this is the portfolio of a graduate of this program. You should, at the very least, have the skills to do something like this. And at the end of the slides, I'll share a QR code for you to all browse through it, see some of my projects I've made, and maybe give yourself a little inspiration. Get those ideas flowing on how you might want to showcase yourself. You can even look at my resume and start getting your first 10 of that out the way. The important things to remember: the work you choose to showcase always changes. Start by putting any project on there, and over time, you'll start removing the worst ones. And at some point, you'll have a list of 5 to 6 really good projects. Your first 10 always suck. Do it now when you're not job hunting. That way, when you are, you're well past that beginner stage and you're starting to show meaningful work. Quality over quantity. You're only as good as your worst project. Bigger projects with more time invested are far better than smaller, low effort ones. Remember that what you show can be changed and tweaked to your needs. Projects don't have to live on your portfolio forever. And that's why it's fine to start with projects from your modules. Before I go, I want to be a little open and vulnerable with you all. Tech and computer science is a mental game as much as it is a technical one. Imposter syndrome is extremely common and is only reinforced by challenging topics and a wide variety of students with different talents. It's likely that you will feel like you don't belong, that coding and tech isn't for you because you're not just understanding it or because that one dude named Kyle got an internship at Snap and won't shut up about it. I still feel it, even to this day. No amount of accolades or achievements can take away that feeling of imposter syndrome. So when it does hit you, just know that everyone, even me, feels it. And just because you feel it doesn't mean it's true. There will always be those who claim that newer tech will take your job. We've all heard it. AI is stealing our jobs. But the thing is, tech is always changing. Yes, new tools come around and shake up the workflow, but they've never replaced the people who were taught how to solve problems. Coding might be different. Tech overall might be different in the next 10 years, but you will always have a place in it. Those who understand the logic and master them, those are the people that get hired. On this slide is all the points I've made over the course of this presentation. And I want to pause here just for a little so you can remind yourself of the things we've gone over. While you're doing that, I want to take this moment to thank you all for listening to me. It has been a pleasure talking to you all. And as promised, the link to my website is on that QR code. My LinkedIn is on my site. So if you have an account, feel free to connect and reach out and let me know that you came from this session. I wish each and every one of you the best in your career endeavors, and I have no doubt you'll do great things. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. This was a very insightful presentation, and it's great to learn more about your student journey with the University of London. So now moving on to your questions, there are a couple of questions for the students that have put on the chat. So let's start with some bold questions. He is an international student from Afghanistan, and he wants to know what are the admission requirements and applications process for applying to your bachelor's programs from abroad? How was your experience with applying to the University of London?
I think the basic ones were English and math, and it was based on the UK system. So GCSE level math, and regardless of what you have or what you don't have. So for me, as an example, they required AS level, A level math and English, which I didn't have. But I did have some English and some math, and I sent my application in. I didn't get accepted immediately, but I got accepted to sort of like their trial run where they give you access to two modules. If you pass those, then you get accepted fully into the degree. So my process was quite straightforward and quite simple. I didn't have everything that they met, but I had enough for them to say, hey, take these two modules. If you pass, we can move you on. So my experience was kind of straightforward.
Great, thank you. So you mentioning AI during your presentation and like AI taking our jobs and so on. So Abdullahi, it's making a very important point. So he's asking if it's learning programming worth it today due to AI advancement. Do you use AI tools in your studies, if at all, or your work
I
even?
love this question. I
Yeah.
love this question because I've had multiple talks about AI. I
Yes.
do use AI, and I think that you should use AI in your studies, in your I use it at Snap. But the consensus was it was strictly a tool, and it's always been a tool. It was not the thing that did all the coding for me. It was the thing that I used to get some answers really, really quickly. I'm still, even when studying or even when working, I was still 95% of the actual code and the coder that did the stuff. AI was just my way of understanding something really quickly. As a quick example, at Snap, it was Snap have their own AI technology. It was how I was able to ramp up and learn their tech stack quickly so that I could start working with it. But that's all it was used for. And yes,
Great,
it's
thank
still
you.
worth learning programming.
Yes, because how will you understand AI if you don't know how to program, right?
Exactly.
Great. Thank you so much for your insights. I want to thank Kyle and Kevin for their presentations today. So now let's move on to the next part of the presentation on why you should be doing a bachelor's degree program. Great. So for the starters, the earnings potential for bachelor's degree holders is statistically much greater than those with only a high school diploma. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, bachelor's degree holders can actually earn 75% more and have an average weekly income of 1,432 US dollars. And to add some more context, next slide, please. Great. To add some more context, over their lifetimes, bachelor's degree holders earn $1.2 million more than those with only a high school diploma. This makes sense, since more than 80% of jobs in high growth sectors require at least a bachelor's degree or higher. Finally, beyond earnings comes career growth. Today's sessions, it's all about completing your bachelor's degree and why you should do it. Among students who return to complete their degree, 70% say it helped them advance their careers within just 2 years. So if you're looking to earn more and progress in your career, maybe you should consider completing that credential. Today's session is all about completing your bachelor's degree through online learning. We are going to be showcasing 100% online degrees from globally respected universities, and the benefits include transfer credits to accelerate completion, flexible scheduling, and a mix of live sessions and self-paced learning. We will be covering 12 bachelor's degrees from top universities across the globe. So those 12 universities that we have today, it is University of North Texas, where Kevin is coming from, Georgetown University, Illinois State in the US, and in the UK, we have the University of Huddersfield, the University of London, and from India, we have BITS Pilani, IT Guwahati, and OP Jindal University. So let's start with Georgetown. So Georgetown University offers a bachelor's in liberal arts, for which you don't need a standardized thesis course required for admission. You can learn from 5 different concentrations available, including cybersecurity, analytics and technology, media, communications and humanities, business entrepreneurship, politics and international relationships, or interdisciplinary studies. For UNT, we have a Bachelor's of Applied Arts and Sciences, which is a 100% online with no required attendance or in-person exams. If you have credits for military training or technical education, you can transfer up to 90 of the 120 required credits hours to graduate from the program. Applications are now open, and the deadline to submit an application is going to be May 1st. If you go through the slides, you will see that they have a QR code that you can scan, and this will take you to the program description pages on our Coursera website. If you would like to learn more about any particular program that we will be presenting today, you can just scan that QR code, and then you can request more information, and one of my colleagues will be giving you a call in the next few days so they can tell you more about the program and answer any questions you might have. So make sure that you scan those QR codes. So moving on, we have the Bachelor's of Science in Data Science and AI from IT Guwahati, one of the Indian legacy institutions in which you will have access to India's powerful supercomputers. This degree also offers multiple exit points. So if you don't want to commit to a full bachelor's degree, you can get an advanced certificate, a diploma, a BSc, or a BSc honors. One of the most important things about this program is that you will be able to create a capstone project and work with the supercomputers that the university has created. Applications are open, and the deadline to apply will be April 30. Now, moving on to the University of Huddersfield in the UK, we have the Bachelor's in Data Science, and this university is top ranked as a joint university. The fees for this program will include all the study materials, tutorials, and assessments, and access to a wealth of student support services, and even your graduation ceremony in the UK if you would like to attend in person. You will develop a blend of advanced statistical and mathematical skills that are key skills to have in the job market today. The deadline to apply for the fall 2026 is going to be September 14. So we now move to Kyle's program, the Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science with the University of London, which is the world's oldest provider of distance and flexible learning. They have over 4,000 students in more than 190 countries, starting with the University of London online. You can choose one of the 7 specializations that they offer: machine learning and AI, data science, web and mobile development, physical computing, game development, VR, or UX. And applications are not open, and the deadline to complete the application will be March 30. And if you don't meet the criteria for the bachelor's in computer science just yet, there is something that you can do, and is that it will be the International Foundation Program for Computer Science. This is a foundational degree that has been decided to equip you with the required skills in mathematics and programming so that you can be prepared to face the full bachelor's once you complete this program. It can be completed in as little as 6 months, or if you want to go at a slower pace, you can take up to 3 years to complete it. For this particular program, no prior computer science experience is required. And applications for this program will be opening soon, so stay tuned on our program description page that you can access scanning the QR code on the screen. For the University of Illinois Tech in the US, we have a Bachelor of Information Technology, for which you don't need a formal application process or admissions test. You will be learning cloud computing and covering major topics in open source programming, web development, and cloud computing technologies. And you will be accessing real-world insights from Illinois Tech faculty who are experts in the tech industry today. And applications are open now and will be closing on March 16. And now going to the BITS Pilani Institute in India, we have the Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science program, which is a 3-year degree from an institution of eminence. They also offer incubation support and entrepreneurial guidance from PyDS, the technology business incubator for BITS Pilani. So if you're someone that is interested in opening your own business, then this might be the right program for you. You can join over 1,650,000 successful engineers, scientists, entrepreneurs from the BITS Pilani Alumni Association. Applications for the program will be opening soon, so stay tuned to learn more about this program. Then back to UNT, we have the Bachelor's of Science in General Business, which is accredited by the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business in 1961. If you have prior credit from any previous education that you have completed, you will be able to transfer up to 60 credits to this degree. So if you are looking for an affordable, flexible path to a bachelor's degree in business, then this might be the right degree for you. And applications are now open and they will be closing on May 1st. And back to the University of London with the Bachelor's of Science in Marketing. Then here you will be able to learn more about marketing strategy, consumer behavior, digital marketing, and analytics, and you can learn to solve real-world marketing challenges. Again, the University of London is the world's oldest provider of distance and flexible learning, so if you're looking to learn about marketing, then this might be the place for you. Applications are open now, and they will be closing on March 16. Moving on to the Bachelor's in Business Administrations, here you have the choice to do a general pathway related to general business administration, or you can choose to do the specialist pathway in human resource management. This is designed for learners that are interested in global HR practices and organizational behavior. And there are 2 admission routes for this, so you can either go for direct entry or performance-based admission if you already have some work experience in the field of business administration. And last but not least, we have OP Jindal Global University with a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. They have a blended format with on-campus immersion. So if you're somebody that would like to attend live classes, then this is the degree for you. You also have the opportunity to work in internships and research projects, and you can transfer up to 10 credits from professional certifications via Coursera Career Academy. So if you have completed selected qualifications that are available on Coursera, then these credits might be transferred to this degree. You also have access to career support services from the university when you will be accessing personalized career guidance and mentorship, resume building, and mock interview practice. The application deadline will be in 3 days. So if you are interested in this program, hurry up and scan the QR code and talk to one of our enrollment representatives today. And if you would like to learn more about the programs, you can scan this QR code that will take you to our degrees website on Coursera, where you can read more about any of the programs that we presented. As a reminder, in each program description page, you will be able to request information, and one of my colleagues will be happy to give you a call so they can tell you more about their programs and their experience with applying for these programs. So now, let's move on to the Q&A session. Let's see which questions of the audience we have here today. So Matthew has a question about credit transfer. Does each applicable course allow to carry credits for each individual course, or is it in credits in total that can be carried out? So this will depend on the particular program, because not all the programs allow transfer of credits with content that is available on Coursera. So if you already saw one course that caught your attention, you can go to the course description page and you can find more information about which courses can be transferable. Some might offer 10 credits. In some cases, as UNT, you can transfer up to 60 credits. So it will really depend on the university and program that you are looking to apply. Yeah, let's see another question from the students. Let's see another question here we have. What's the entry eligibility for folks who want to apply in the University of London? So for the bachelor's in computer science, a strong mathematical background is required for this program. That's usually demonstrated by your high school grades. And if you don't have the required minimum grade, you will just need a high school certificate from wherever country you are from, and at least 1 year of professional work experience in computer science. This is what we call performance-based admission. So for those students that don't have this strong mathematical knowledge, this could be an admission pathway for you. And if not, and you don't have the work experience yet, then it's better if you look into the International Foundation Program, because this will set up the foundation for you to do the bachelor's degree after completion. For the bachelor's of marketing and the business administration, the entry requirements are similar. The thing that changes is the minimum required grade for mathematics, but they also offer performance-based admission. And if you'd be interested to hear more about these programs, feel free to scan the QR code on the screen and talk to my colleagues about their programs. Let's see which other question we have from the audience today. Are there scholarship opportunities for less privileged in West African countries? And if yes, what is the link for the applications? So their scholarship options vary per program. Some of our partners like BITS Pilani or the University of London, the price is geographically inclusive. So students in certain regions will have lower fees. You can learn more about the specific scholarships or pricing options that the programs offers in each individual program page. Another question. I have downloaded the brochure for the bachelor's at ITY for data science and AI, and they mentioned about a qualifier test or something similar to GEE. How will get know about this qualifier test and how to apply for it? So once you complete your application for the program, the admissions team will reach out to you if you need a qualifier test. Let's see another question for the audience. If I have a certification, some courses on Google cybersecurity, can that help to apply for the UNT degree? You can refer to the individual program website and you can check which certificates, which professional certificates on Coursera will apply for the transfer of credits. Okay, keep the questions coming. So I'm on 11th grade right now, a high schooler. So are any of these courses for me currently? So the eligibility for the courses will depend on each individual program. There might be some courses that ask you to have a certificate of high school completion, or there might be others when you can just complete some courses before you are enrolling the degree. So if you already know which course you would like to do, you can refer to the individual program page and learn more about their admission criteria. So I think I have a question for Kyle. If you can come off mute, please.
Hello.
Thank you, Kyle. So a student is asking, they have an associate degree in health science. In your experience with University of London, what bachelor degree will you advise from the University of London?
I suppose I should be asking. I wish that person could come on and speak live. I'm not, whichever works for you. I'm not too sure what the question. So they have a health science associates, and they're asking what they want to do, what degree to take.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Take whatever you think you want to do. At least, so I can only speak from the computer science perspective because it's the only one I took. But you don't really need a background. So you can come into the computer science degree with what you already have, and you can learn computer science. And I thought it was fulfilling, and I liked it. So speaking to a computer scientist, of course, I'm going to end up recommending that you take the computer science program.
Great. And I love that answer because at the end it comes up to what you want to learn. So you have showcased today a different several offers of different programs. So you should go for the program that it's what you want to learn, because that's the only way that you can actually learn. Because if you might be learning marketing but you don't really enjoy it, then you might not be learning much. So thank you, Kyle, for your insight. Definitely go for the program that you think you like most. Another final question. I think we are going to be wrapping up with this. How are transcripts handled from previous colleges and universities? Do I have to hand them down an email to the online university, or is it university to university? Again, this will depend to the university or program that you are applying to, because they all have different admission criteria. In some programs, you can attach student copies of your transcripts, but there might be some universities that require you to have the transcript emailed directly to them from your previous high school or university. So refer to the program page that you're interested in and find out more about their eligibility criteria. Okay, let's see. I think we have time for one final question. Let's see what we have on the chat here. So I can see a lot of questions about prior credit that you have completed in other institutions and how that can be transferable to any of our degree programs. So in a general sense, it will depend if the courses that you have completed before are similar in content and level to the courses that each university offers. So you will have to go to the individual program page and first see if any of the courses that you have taken before is part of the curriculum of the courses. Some universities will have a more flexible way to transfer credits, in which you can complete Coursera content and then transfer that to the program. Or there might be others that you will have to go through a full application process to see if the credit that you have completed before is going to be similar to the one that the university offers. So yes, once again, refer to the program page or book a call with one of our representatives, and they will be happy to explain more about the transfer of credits for each programs. One final question for Kyle, and with this we'll be wrapping up. Kyle.
I'm here.
Yes, great, thank you. So this is
No
addressed to
problem.
you specifically, and the student is
Okay.
asking, hi Kyle, I'm really interested in the University of London as they take into consideration the work you do via Coursera. However, there is some negative feedback regarding the responsiveness of students. How is the university addressing this for future students, and did you feel this is as a student?
Okay, so I was a part of the student voice group, and I was someone who actively told the university, hey, this is an issue that a lot of students are facing. Personally, I never felt I never felt the feedback, but a lot of students have. Um, and to address your question, when we presented it to the student voice group, the percentage of people that they showed was a very small amount. So it's a small group of people that really get very little response, but the large majority of people actually get quality on time responses. And from when I started, that number has dropped. It's not zero. I don't think it'll ever be zero, but they are doing things to improve it. Um, my experience, I never felt it, and I would think that most people didn't feel it either.
Great. Thank you so much for your answer, Kyle. And
Mhm.
thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. It was a pleasure to have you all. If you joined late to this webinar, you will be getting a recording at the end of the session. So thank you once again for joining, and hope you have a good rest of the day wherever you are in the world. Thank you once again. Bye-bye.